Hello, today we're going to be making a new video about making a game called Moving Target. Let's begin. This is going to be a fun game where there will be a target, you'll have to aim and fire. It's going to be quite fun to play. Let's start. First, we'll need to get a new image. As I showed you, I have a new image that I picked out right here. And we'll do this, save image as, say aim.png. Now, as you can see, it's downloaded here. We just cross this so it will be easier to see our Scratch program. Will be here. We go back. Come back, go to the upload sprite, and we'll say aim in the download section. Type here. As you can see, it's in this bar. Get this, and our aim sprite is here. Great. Now, time to make it into the costumes. We'll come here, take this, and we will increase its length to about this much, maybe a little bit longer like here. Time to do the same on all other sides. Go back. Now we do this, make it longer. Got here. Got a little bit edgy bit here, so we'll just delete that. Much better. We will do this same for all sides. This gives a more target-like look. And if you take this, move it, and we move this one. Great, we've got it here. We'll change the size to 10, for example. To -+ we can do this, but we won't be using that right now. We'll also be filling it in with a color so it doesn't interfere with our program next. So a good color would be green, but as long as it's not yellow, blue, or red, it's all fine. So then you can do whatever you like with it. But right now I'm going with this. Now we've got our thing. We'll go to the code and we'll go to events, when flag clicked, set size to 20%, this is in lux, if you remember that the set size and the when clicked. Set size makes it set the size just like this but with code, as I said in the last tutorial. And I also showed you what the one flag click green flag clicked means. This means to start the program when this here green flag is clicked. So we'll do this, set size to 100%. We'll go right show. This is also in the same, a tiny bit lower in the look section. And we got a thing of control forever. Get the looks show. You go if key up pressed, and first you'll need to go to control, take the if, put it in. This makes it, for example, if somebody gives you a condition, if you do this, then this will happen. So the same thing as in programming. If touching or you can use all these other functions. Right now we'll be doing if key space pressed, but instead of space we'll really be doing the up arrow, change Y by 10 in the motion. We'll do this by going down. The motion is quite a big section of thing where you can make it move around, go around, and more of this is explained in the last tutorial. So if you haven't learned much about the motion, then you will want to go to that tutorial. Now we're continuing on. We'll do this and put here. We just need to duplicate this. The way you can do this is just here, but you right click and duplicate. You can also use the backpack as we told in the last tutorial. So if you want to know more about the scratch blocks, motion and most of the others, then you should go to the last tutorial to understand basics. Right now we'll be using down arrow, Y by -10, now let's push on. We'll do this if key right arrow, but here we'll be doing something a tiny bit different. We'll take out the change Y, put out the change X instead, and we'll have it to now 10, -10, and 10 in the X direction. Duplicate. Left arrow, and you should do -10. Now we have to do if key space press, then broadcast message 1, otherwise stop the script. To do this, we'll start by moving this down so we can put our X lines of code. Take some if. We'll take the key space pressed from the sensing so we can fire our dart on the target. So then after that it will be broadcast message 1. We'll do this by going to events, then you broadcast message 1. You can change this to a different message name by doing this new message and deleting this one. But you might not be able to delete it, and then you just don't click this one, you click your new one. Let me demonstrate. For example, if you say fire, broadcast fire. Now our new one is set to fire. If you click message 1, it'll be message 1. We can use message 1 or fire, but they both will do the same. So there's not much difference unless you're doing multiple broadcasts. Now we'll have to stop the script. Why we'll stop the script? Because then you won't be able to move, and you don't want to be able to move, otherwise your fire you might have done right, but then your thing moves to some other side and then it goes wrong, even though it might have been right in the middle of our target, which we are going to be making later. Now we'll do broadcast message 1 and we'll do stop this script. Do this by going to control, so go to the stop all and put it in here. Now we'll go just like the arrow in the space left arrow, this and the message 1. This also has this. I chose the script because we only want to stop this script, and I also made it in this way. You can also do it, by the way, by events and one space key press. But first of all, it's more smoother in this technique. You can move it in even a diagonal way, like if you wanted it to move like this. But right now we'll be setting it like this. Small. Our thing is moving around. Woohoo! We've got our one working, and it's all ready to go. Now we'll first of all need to make our target, because you can't really have a game of moving target without a target. So you basically have to get a target first. Now we will not use upload. We will not use the choose a sprite. We'll use the paint. Now we will do this by first making a circle. We'll keep on doing this, so it's not really much thing. We'll change this to a yellow. Fill yellow. I think so. Now this is good, and we will move it here. You can make it as small as you like, but you can also do the encoding, so I don't think it really matters right now, so I'll not recommend doing that. Now we will, instead of doing this, say no fill. Now why do we not want any fill? I wonder. This could be because we don't want to fill over our yellow bit, because that's really the point where we are going to be firing at, aiming to fire at. So as you can see, it's a little big, but using coding or the manual settings, you can just make it smaller. So that's not really a problem for us. Next, we'll turn this outline from this to a red. We'll put it here. Now, you might be thinking that we've got this, but it seems a little funny looking, doesn't it? As if it has a gap in it, when you see here, and we don't really want gaps. So what do? We can increase this number but it's not increasing it. Why? We haven't selected it. Now that will increase. It's becoming thicker. And we've got our red ready. That rhymes. Next, we'll be making our outline of blue. Okay, done. Now, instead of doing this, we'll make a circle here, fill it with nothing. Do this to be a blue. Now we will increase it once again, and since it's already selected, so we don't really need to do much. It's increasing, increasing, increasing. Okay, now this is a slight bad thing because we want it to be equal from all sides perfectly. So we'll try to align it bit by bit, and at last it's ready. We've got our target and we've got it all ready. If we also make this a tiny bit bigger so it doesn't disrupt, and so that we can see the red more. We will also need to make this because we want to increase it. Now that would work much better. Want this. Now we have here and this. Seems to be perfect. We've got our target ready. We've got our aim ready. But to get in front will be a little bit of a problem. Now, if you just drag it around, it comes first. Woohoo! We've got it working. We've got our sprite moving, as you can see. We've got our target. Now, we want to make first of all our target smaller, because a huge target is quite easy to hit, I think. So we better make it smaller. So we change it to 10, for example. Oh, now that's way too small. We will have to change it 50. Much better. Just a little bit more. Now if we go here, it's 100. So if you 80, and yay, we've got it ready. Now, time to start making our code. First, we will start putting our events block, green flag, remember the one that starts the whole program. Point in direction 90. Now I added this, which is in the motion, because it can sometimes do a little weird things. If you want to see those weird things, go back to the last tutorial as well. and then you'll find out what weird things the function we're going to be using if on edge bounce can really do. So let's try. We've done this. Point in direction 90. Now we don't really know its direction only from this value. So for example, we set it opposite. Minus 90. You can also set this like this, but I find it more fun to just by yourself, unless it becomes too much of a hassle. Then I just do this, write it down. And so now we've got a minus 90. You reset, it's become 90 again. Woohoo! And then we will do glide to a random position. But if we want to do this, we must do it with the very important forever. Okay, now the only reason I'm using forever is because it makes things run forever until you stop the whole program. So the reason why we do this is because imagine if you do without it, it will only run once, and you don't even need to imagine, because if I take this out, we'll see. We will see. Should be moving many times all over the place, but nothing's really happening. Now if we do this, now much better. We've got our thing working, moving, and we've got our target working, moving. Now also we'll be fixing our target a little bit later on how to make it start completely moving, because we also want the target to stop. You do it, its shrinks smaller, it should release the target, but our target is gone and it hits nothing. So that we'll also have to fix, but right now we'll only do on this. If we don't want it to move all over the place, or maybe you don't need to do this thing, but if you want to do just follow the steps, then this is alright. You don't really need to do this step, but it just makes it clearer to understand. Do the set rotation left and right. Now why did we do left and right, you may be wondering. Well, this is because we don't want it to be just going round and round and round and round. It's quite a silly thing to think of. Your thing moves in right, your thing moves in right, your thing moves in left, right, and it's all randomized and it becomes all over the place. So we don't want our program to do that. So we just want to do left and right. This way it will not rotate that much. It will only rotate minus, plus, and only that same numbers which it was first on. So that we are done with, you can say. And then we do if one edge bounce, because as you've noticed, most probably, it's going inside the gaps. We need to fix this. Let's see what happens when the if one edge bounce. Now you can see the if one edge bounce is taking it out and not letting it to go into our gaps. Now the glide one is still a little bit taking over, but the if one edge bounce helps to take control and not let it go too deep that you can't even see your target. So that's great. We've got it all working. Woohoo! We're done. Okay, we are not done actually. We just need to finish the last parts. Our last parts will be making it first detect, and then also making the target stop moving, and making it detect when we click the space bar, because as soon as we click the space bar, only this stops, which is quite a weird thing. Then after that we'll do when I receive message 1, then we'll stop other scripts in our sprite. How we will do this and why we will do this? We want to stop this, right? So this is how we'll stop it. if we said stop all, this wouldn't just mean this sprite. It would mean the whole game. But we don't want to stop the whole game because we might want to, if you want to have less effects to make it seem a little more realistic. Then you can just do that and go along, bye and don't need to watch this video anymore. But we're right now just going to do this. Stop the other scripts and sprite. So not only this one as well. And that's how the whole thing will stop. Now, we've got our thing in our place. We've got it all ready. We've got it all working. Now, time for it to first detect and do the sound effects. And you can do the sound effects if you like. We can do that as well. But right now we'll just be doing with making it smaller and making its point detect. We'll be finding out why we need a point, because this is going to be a quite important part of our structure when we make it. Now it will not work. As you can see, it's all working. Well, we don't really know where is our score yet, so can't really see. We'll move this on the side, and we've got it ready. Now, to do that part, we'll just go here, up here. We'll go when I receive the message one. Yes, you must be thinking that why am I doing another when I receive message one in this exact same sprite which is sending it. So, and this is because it's a much less harder way of making your code better and making it only one and only when you click the spacebar. Well, you might also be able to write all this code under the spacebar one. That seems the most obvious way. But this also says stop this script. So we'll not really be doing that. Next, we will do this when I receive. It's also a good way of tidying up your code, so it's just nice to do it. Now we will wait 1 second. (0.1 second). We'll then do change size by -1. Do this in looks. Now we are about to finish our program. We will then do broadcast. Maybe we can broadcast our fire one, because now we need a different one, because if we broadcast our same message, the same thing will repeat. So we need to broadcast our new message which we made. And we'll make it fire. And we have got this working. Ta-da! Okay, now to make it and see if it works. Now this looks quite cool when it gets smaller and then disintegrates. It seems as if it gets smaller, and this way you'll also be able to have a little dot, because if we just say in here that when I receive it, then we'll be touching this color, touching blue, red, yellow. If not touching, then do something else. So because if, for example, in this case, a bit of it is on red, then it will not only say the blue, but it will also say red and blue. Red value, blue value. red value, blue value. And we don't really want that because we only scored a blue and we don't want to. It's almost like cheating that we got a red for, which is a higher score for something we haven't done. So just to make the game a little bit more fair and better, we will make a new sprite, but this time we'll be just selecting it. It will be called button. The reason I call button the sprite, well, you don't really need the button sprite. You can use any sprite you want. I just went with button. You can even go for a ball if you want, but I'm going for a button. Now, the scratch allows you to do 6 as the smallest value you can get. Now, this seems like it's quite ridiculous that you want it to be so small. But then again, if it comes in the middle and a tiny bit is touching, then that will happen. So we only want the point. So that's the only reason and we are doing this. Otherwise, we could just leave it, say our game is done, and go away. It will have a few bugs, of course, because of this, so just to fix the minor bugs, we'll go to button, one clicked, and we'll do set size to 1. And we'll do this. Size to Okay, now after this, we'll need to do another thing. And this will be our forever. Set size, as you remember, sets its size using this, but instead of having yourself put that value, you can put this value and it'll get even smaller. So that's a great way to bound off the rules in the scratch. So that's way you can make it even smaller. This is a great way to size images you've downloaded, like we showed. So you can also do it like using it like that. Of course, it takes a little bit more time than it should, but it's still quite a good thing to do. Now we'll do go to, but why do we want it to go to a random position? We want it to be on our point, our middle point, and the only way we can do this is by saying go to aim. Now, the center of aim is in its very middle, and that very middle is also where our point is. So we want it to be in the very middle, so it has the point. You can see a little bit of flickers off, but when you hit it, it has a nice remaining mark. You can see the tiny little dot. I don't know if you can see it, but you should be able to. But that's the good effect of also making it small. You can't see it, which is a way better thing. Now, after this, we'll have to do this bit. When I receive K, or that's the variable I made, but as I made it this time as fire, so you can choose fire. It doesn't matter what its name is, so no matters on that. Control forever. Then we'll do now we'll do S. If you remember, our S are what made our thing move. So time to make our thing work using the same thing, same technique, but we'll do the touching color, and since this has no outline, so we will just do here. Ta-da! We have got the color blue coming in. Now we can say let's say we can say it's 40. And if we do same duplicate 80, and we will change this by using this. This little thing is on the background. You can do this. Outer line shows. This is 80, and duplicate again. We will then choose our winning middle point, and we have 100. Now, our game should work, unless we did something wrong. 80. Now, as you can see, before, if we did the same thing, then we would have a much more bad game. So, because if I just try moving this to this one, and I remove this, now it might seem as if all my work is gone, but we will instead see it right here. Now, if you have it here, 100, it will also say a different one at the same time. But since we said say only and not the hello for 2 seconds or this, so we can also do it here. The point can also be used. It gives a nice cool effect, like it's being pointed in that point. It's good for aiming where you are, so we'll just keep that there, and our program is done. Now we want it to be a little less white, so we want it to be better. How we'll do this, we'll get a new backdrop called our playing field. Now it looks very realistic, and we can also do this. Let's see what score I got. 100! Yay! We've got our game fully operational. It's running and working. Okay, see you in the next tutorial. Bye!